Well, how are you?
BJ, how would you describe your job here?
My job is to bring energy, enthusiasm, connection to the state of Montana, and help out wherever I can.
You had such great success recruiting at Western. Can you do that here?
Oh, I definitely think you can have a bigger stage to sell kids on, probably a more diversified academic program, which is obviously the #1 reason you're trying to get any kid. What can you do for them for the next 40 or 50 years, not just the next 4 or 5. So who doesn't want to be a Bobcat? I know I wanted to be one when I was a kid.
BJ Coulter Nuanos from Skyline Sports. What was your process like at Western? You guys recruited so many Montana kids the last couple of years, and you signed so many. So why'd you have so much success in state these last few years?
Just building relationships. I grew up in the state, went to Western, so a lot of teachers and coaches come out of Western. But it's all about the relationship piece, getting out to see kids, getting to know them, and just once you develop that relationship, then I think it's just a matter, is it a good fit academically for them, and obviously finances come into the equation at some point. There's a lot of decisions, locations, so all those things.
Coaching in high school?
Sheridan, Montana.
Coaching in the Frontier, you guys got so many players that are maybe borderline Big Sky guys. Do you feel like this is an under-recruited state still at this point?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm biased to the state. I think the high school coaches do a tremendous job here in Montana, and it's just a matter of us, at the bigger level, is just finding the right cat, if that makes sense, that fits into Coach Choate's, what he's looking for.
BJ, what can we expect from the special teams with you coaching?
Obviously, I'll be taking the lead from Coach Choate. He's well known. He's been a mentor of mine as a special teams coach for a long time. So I'm excited to continue to learn from him. And I think that's one of my biggest things, is how much I can learn from Coach Choate. He's been in a lot of different places and been on the big stage. So anything I can learn from him, I'm going to be a sponge absorbing it. But again, just fundamentally sound football. I don't care what level you're at, it's still blocking and tackling.
BJ, Greg from the Billings Gazette. Part of your title is Director of High School Relations. Talk about what that's going to entail, and maybe specifically how you're going to attack that.
Yeah, it just starts again with the relationship. I think everybody wants to make it out to be, the recruiting process, something that's, this magical thing. It's a people business. And again, whether you're talking about X's and O's, they say you don't win with X's and O's, you win with Jimmy's and Joe's. And so, it's just about getting to know people and letting them know that you're here for them. A lot of times we're going into schools asking, hey, can you help us with this kid? Or can you tell me more about this kid? So we got to rely on them. They see him every day. We can watch film and we see a little bit of them. And again, we're going to have them on campus for camps or for visits, things like that. But again, they know them inside and out. They've been with them for 4 years or even more, depending on how long they're in their program as far as junior high and that sort of thing. But that's the big thing, is just building those relationships, camps. We're excited to see what we can get done on camps, take a new look at that besides just the one day that's been very successful in some of the little guy camps. We're throwing around a lot of different ideas and reaching out to the high school coaches. Hey, what would help you? How can we help you? And so it's just being a good partner with them on seeing what we can do for them, and knowing that they have somebody that they can always call and contact and say, hey, BJ, can you help me with this? And if I can't help them, I can direct them to somebody who can.
Coach, I'm Rob Jesselson with ABC and Fox. What does it say about Coach Choate just picking up local head coaches from, local programs, and how much can you help a guy like Coach Choate out, just having that experience being a former head coach?
Definitely. I think he's got his plan, and like I said, he's been a mentor of mine. But again, there's just some of that day-to-day stuff that kind of you get away from doing the best part of the job, which is connect with the players on a regular basis. And sometimes you get pulled into, no offense, fellas, but media. You get pulled into the business meetings, the budgeting, and some of those things. So if I can help him in some of those areas, and then also just sometimes, kind of just say, hey, I know what you're going through, take a deep breath, enjoy it. you'll get back out on the field in a short time. So, but no, I think it says a lot about him as far as him, willing to look outside the box. Hey, who can help me? These guys have connection to the state. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What can we all do to help kind of jump on board and ease the transition?
Was it tough leaving a head coaching job?
Definitely was. Again, it was my alma mater, and I don't know if, again, I think, to be a part of Montana State and Coach Chode's staff, and to be able to work with a guy that I've respected for a long time, and then another friend of mine that I went to school with, Brian Armstrong, and to get to work with Kane Ione, who's a guy that I've always, looked up to as far as being a Bobcat fan. And then when Coach Gregorak came down, again, he's a guy that I've respected for a long time, got to know working camps through the university. It's just been just an awesome opportunity. But having said that, it was my alma mater. Those relationships that we talked about, it wasn't easy to say goodbye to those guys. I was at a great place, and I wasn't looking for a job when this one came around, but definitely couldn't pass up this opportunity. I didn't think personally, number one, and of course professionally.
Coach Russ Reed from NBC Montana. Part of your job too also is not only having great relationships with the high school coaches across the state, but Coach Chode also specifically mentioned you running the camps and clinics for the program, just in the region and in the state. Being a former coach in the frontier level, where kind of camps and clinics are really up and coming and big. Can you just talk about how important that aspect of your job? Yeah,
I think just being able to get anybody on campus. Montana State will sell itself. The Gallatin Valley. I mean, who doesn't want to come to Bozeman, whether it's to recreate or, again, I grew up in a small town, so when we do our Christmas shopping, guess where we'd come? We'd come to Bozeman. Hey, even you want to eat a different restaurant, guess where we'd come? We'd come to Bozeman. So, I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but honestly, who doesn't want to come up here and enjoy all the things that Bozeman has to offer? But for us, it's just getting kids on campus to see, what the university has to offer, and be a part of it. Get a feel for us as coaches. That's the next thing. Again, it's that relationship connection. They can decide, hey, these guys are my kind of guys, and obviously then we can find out, hey, these are our kind of cats.
You mentioned not looking for a job at this point. So what was that process like? When did Jeff first come and address you?
I talked to him right away, of course, called him and said, hey, are you really, I see your name, and maybe, I don't know, it was through some of you guys. I saw his name bouncing around a little bit, and, was excited for him because I know that's been a goal of his. And so we talked early, just as far as, hey, congratulations on the job. And he said, hey, I got a lot of things I got to do between now and then, but if it shakes out, would you be interested? And, I said, hey, I definitely would be interested, but obviously we both have to kind of see if it's a good fit for me and if it's a good fit for him once his staff. So, he had to obviously go with the coordinators and look at some of those guys first, and it ended up, I didn't hear till late, I guess probably a day or so before you guys kind of broke it. We talked one night and said, hey, can you let me know in the morning? I know that's a short turnaround, so I talked with some of the other folks that I look up to and asked them about their information and or recommendation, I guess, and get some ideas, and then kind of just happened the next day. So it really didn't happen till late.
Did you guys play together at Westar?
No, he was, my freshman year, he was coaching, just finishing up his degree in student coaching, so he was a little older and wiser.
How old are you?
I'm 41.
Pretty heavy. You mentioned the Western connections around the state, and there's so many Western connections now on this staff. So what about that place breeds coaching?
Number one, you go there to be, I shouldn't say everybody, and with the block scheduling, they've really opened it up to more degrees, but back when we all went there, we wanted to be teachers and coaches, and again, that's the biggest thing is, coaching is teaching, and so, you get put in front of a classroom, and right away, you're learning to teach kids, and that's what we're doing here. Obviously, we're teaching, we maybe have a more attentive or more, I don't know the word I'm looking for exactly, engaged. We have a product that they want to learn about. Sometimes teaching science or math, they may not always think that's as important, but have a captive audience. There you go. So anyway, yeah, once you start getting in the classroom and start teaching, you know, that transfers over onto the field, and so that's kind of the way Montana Western's always been known.
What do you think of the state of the program here at Montana State?
I think it's an exciting time again. I don't think it's broke. It just needs a little tweaking, obviously, and you know, I have a great respect for Coach Ash and all the coaches that were here before we came and worked their camps, and that's why I'm excited to be able to work again with Bo and Coach Petrie as well. Those guys have been great to me personally and our staff when I was at Western, helped us with recruiting, and so you know, I think it's just a matter of coming on and giving a little different spin to it, and I'm excited about the guys' energy that, you know, Coach Choate hired and their expertise, and it's brought guys that have again, I mean, a ton of veteran experience, bowl experience. Matt Miller's my little office neighbor, and it's been fun visiting with him and getting to know him and Byron, and yeah, I mean, I can just keep going on. Coach Messingham, I heard speak at a clinic in Billings. He came up back in the day, and I've followed his career, and getting to know him has been outstanding. So there's just a lot of good guys, a lot of low egos, and a lot of high energy, which is what Coach Choate was looking for.
Coach, John Mouse from the Daily Chronicle.
You know, and you know, when he told me, hey, come over here and we're gonna do this right, and it's gonna be a lot of fun, and then also his belief in me. I think he probably talked to any of his former players. You know, it was the belief that he instills in you, and he makes you, you know, feel like, hey, yeah, I can do it. If I can be a part of it, you know, however I can help, I want to be in. So again, being a man of his word, and is just the belief in him, and again, I know we're going to have fun, and I know it's going to be there's going to be a lot of energy, and then again, just to be around that you know, that high level of success that he's been around everywhere he's gone, whether it was the high school level, whether it was, you know, in Idaho, whether it was in Florida, it didn't matter, Washington. I mean, all he's done has been successful, and obviously that's you know, it takes a lot of guys to do that. It wasn't just all him, but to be a part of that and jump on it, it's infectious. Winning is contagious, that's for sure. Fortunately, so is losing.
Great. Welcome.